Things were changing.
What is this? Star Citizen releasing in 2025, according to leak. It's sus. Something sus. Something sus about this.
It's the start of 2024 and Star Citizen's leak Discord has released an extensive report on what is going on behind the scenes at CIG, and there's some major plans in the works and even the mention of Star Citizen 1.0, as in the game's done, or at least ready to ship. Now, as with anything with the leak label, this should be taken with a grain of salt, but it's hard not to put some weight into this report, and at the start they do mention that the information comes from multiple devs with at least one corroborating witness on each bit of info and or screenshot.
So according to him, are we talking about the PU or Squadron 42 right now? Is he talking about Squadron 42?
Evidence. So take that for what it's worth, and let's get into some of these
He's
juicy
saying PU. He's saying the PU.
details. Okay. Now, Pipeline has details on what essentially is an internal roadmap for CIG. The company used to make these roadmaps more public, but because they kept having to delay these features, they switched over to the new tracking system, which only lists what's coming in the next major patch rather than what's planned out for a year or more down the road. Now, I'm going to list out some of the early year stuff here and build up to a grand finale that you don't want to miss. Starting off in Q1, we can hopefully expect the 3.23 patch. This patch looks like it's going to get much more extensive. The goal is to contain as many Squadron 42 features as possible, with a meshing preview potentially. There was also an additional leak surrounding patch 3.23, which seems to indicate that there could be some form of base building here. It wasn't exactly sure how much base building. I would imagine it would be a very, very simplified version of it, but it indicated that there could be.
Hold on. Stop. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. There's so much more that has to be added to the PU. It's ridiculous, man. Like to say 2025, it's ridiculous. There's no way, man. Just the base building and land ownership alone. Not to mention quantum and all the economic gameplay we want, the manufacturing. I mean, give me a break, man. Give me a break.
The outposts, the potential for subterranean outposts, crafting furniture and things needed to make them function and homey, and also potentially the ability to buy land claims with Alpha UEC. And we might also get DLSS 2 and FSR with that patch. Apparently DLSS 3 has been more challenging, so that will come later.
This is complete
but
clickbait.
Any GPU upscaling tech would mean major performance improvements. And as wildly ambitious as that patch sounds, it does seem like it would be in line if CIG really does intend to release tons of these features this year. They got to start rolling them out fast, so maybe we'll get base building Q1. That would be pretty wild. Then we bump up to Q3.
I think it's crazy. Like the Star Citizen content creator field right now goes from like there's no progress whatsoever to we're going to be done in 2025. Like that's a quantum leap. Like, you know, like they reported in 2023. All wrong, by the way, complete fake news that there was no progress. Like that was the thing. 2023, all your popular Star Citizen content creators were telling you nothing was happening in 2023. Then CitizenCon 2023 comes up. Everybody's blown away. Oh my God, there's so much work that was done because everybody expects that everything that they do is going to be transparent, put out there for everybody. They're so entitled that they think that every single shred of everything that Cloud Imperium does has to be out there and transparent for every single eyeball, including themselves, so they can report on it and monetize it. They think, oh my God, they sidestep. They don't take responsibility for reporting on the fake news. And then they switch gears and they tell you like, oh my God, it's going to be done in 2025. Like, do you see what I'm saying, guys? Do you see what I'm saying, man? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It seems to be like one or the other. There's no like rationality. Like it's just ridiculous, man.
3, which would be Pyro. We already know that that is planned for the big 4.0 patch later this year. This would also include meshing, as in meshing's ready to deploy to the live server, resource network, and mass.
If they do, God bless them. I cannot wait. I mean, like, really, we all wanted this years ago, right? But I want it done right. And we've come this far. I don't want a whole bunch of like over anxious Star Citizen content creators to persuade Cloud Imperium through their voices that they should speed up in any terms or fashion that would make the game watered down and not fun to play, because they are like, woo, 2025, it's coming out. Like, I just want to make sure that we get the game that we want, the everything game. That's it. If they do it, God bless them.
Modes. That all seems quite ambitious, as these systems are massive. I mean, as cool as base building is, it doesn't seem quite as monumental compared to some of these systems here. So that's exciting too. Hopefully they can hit that mark.
Right,
then in quarter 4, they listed out Planet Tech version 5. I'm not entirely sure.
Let's applaud She for actually waiting down the timer, coming over from Cobra Stream, and waiting out that timer, being one of the Cobra fans, coming over, waiting for the 10 minutes, and then talking. Can we just... Patience. I welcome you. I welcome you to DG360. I welcome you.
What comes with that, but likely more evolutions to what was shown off at CitizenCon. Planets still need more work on rivers, water physics, atmospheric effects like rain, so it's probably finalizing Planet Tech to some degree. Then we hop in a time machine and zoom ahead in time almost 2 years from now to 2025 quarter 4, with the goal being Star Citizen 1.0. which would contain 5 systems on launch, Stanton, Pyro, and 3 other systems, and a deeper narrative experience. Now, obviously, this is the major bombshell of the reports, and almost a meme within itself, considering it's another 2-year-long timeline.
They've never been on time. They've never been on time with any of the roadmaps. So even if they do have this, and this is a legit leak, right? Even if this is a legit leak, and they have this as a date they want to get this out, we all know that they are not on time a lot. And that is an understatement.
Been the running joke with Star Citizen pretty much forever. Now, don't get me wrong, I find this info extremely exciting, and that they want to internally shift all their resources over and ramp up towards a 1.0 launch. And if you're a fan of the game, this is basically just good news. It's more content, more polish, more features. It's all improvements. It's just a lot to get done in that period of time. Honestly, based on CIG's past progress, I mean, imagining them being able to polish off the Stanton system experience within that time frame seems, you know, like something that might actually just be challenging within itself. But again, that's based on the past, where most of the resources were focused on Squadron 42 and not the persistent universe. According to this leak report, up to around 300 devs have already been moved from Squadron 42 over to Star Citizen, and the remainder of the Squadron 42 teams have been restructured into...
This is a great analogy right here. I have to share this right now. Fingers is letting us know that this is like the speed limits in Michigan, where it's just merely the suggestions. Was it like 70 up there, right? I drive up there every once in a blue moon. Amy's family is up there, and we visit from time to time. And I go up 75, and damn, it's like people are going 90. People are going 90 on 75. They come back down to Ohio. They're like, dude, it feels like you're going into a bubble. When you come back down into Ohio, people drive so slow in Ohio. Like when I'm up in Michigan, I'm like, holy shit, it's like your race car driving, man. It's like Days of Thunder up in Michigan. The second you get down to Ohio, people are like, so and then you get in this mindset where you're a race car driver up in Michigan. You go back down into Ohio and you look around and you just get so flustered that everybody drives so damn slow in Ohio. It's crazy. It's crazy. Thank you. Sorry, I had to share that with everybody.
Strike groups to polish out the remainder of that game. Now, this report goes on to examine what Star Citizen 1.0 entails, and the writer also shares in the skepticism of all the goals being met by end of year 2025.
The thing about Michigan, it's one of the flattest states ever, and it takes forever to get from point A to point B. If you're living in Michigan, you understand what I'm saying. I've driven enough in Michigan to know that you have to go 90 miles per hour in order to like have a normal day. Like if you want to get out of work and go home and be home at a decent time and eat dinner, then you have to go 90 miles per hour in order to get to your home, because everything's so flat and distance from each other that you have to drive 90. There's no hills in Michigan. It's a dinner plate. It's flat. You drive fast.
Right. So beyond what was already stated, what is Star Citizen 1.0? Well, apparently it would be a 10 times increase in the in-game activities.
Totally agree with you.
That's a lot of activities. And
I know we're watching the Star Citizen video in the background, but we are also having a conversation here that everybody's a part of. So if you guys can't handle that we're having conversations here, you need to get. Welcome to DG360. Bender says, blame the Ohio Highway Patrol for the over-enforcement of the laws. Listen, I have a long-distance relationship with my girlfriend up in Cleveland. It's about an hour drive up to her, and when I go up 77, every single time there's 5 to 6 highway patrol dudes waiting to give you tickets. It is ridiculous. It is over-patrolled. I have never seen the state so hungry to get people's money from tickets in my entire life of living, and I've lived a very long life, so I completely agree with you, Bender. Can I get some applause?
mission groups. I've seen previous plans for the increased mission scope of the game, but a 10 times increase is a lot any way you slice it. Then there's the new narrative experience, which is described as having a similar scope to Squadron 42, a handcrafted experience that will introduce players to basically the world of Star Citizen at 10 to 20 hours of gameplay. And in some ways, this sounds similar to other MMOs where you have your main character.
And I'm not trying to slight police officers. Trust me, I need police officers in my life. I'm fine with paying some taxes. Some of these taxes are ridiculous. I pay them as well. I'm just saying it's getting a little too tax heavy here in the States lately. But I am very, very, very respectful to police officers. It would not be a job that I would ever want. I just think the state's telling them to go crazy on getting people and getting that money. It's ridiculous. And I'm sure that the officers are just as upset, some of them. But then there's some douches out there, too. The ones that got bullied in school, and that's why they wanted to become a police officer. You know what I'm talking about.
Quest, and this will also rely on instancing to a certain degree. Instancing being where you create sort of a separate safe server environment for players running through some of the newbie content, so their experience can't be ruined by players who are trying to troll or PvP or something. Now, honestly, this sounds great in concept. Star Citizen has become so complex that getting into the experience right now is pretty tough. So a more narrative style introduction that's maybe kind of like your main quest in an MMO to help you get familiar with the basics makes a ton of sense. A brisk 10 to 20 hour long tutorial. And apparently instancing is going to become a much bigger part of the project moving forward, used for raid content such as distribution facilities, personal facilities like your hangars, and narrative focused missions such as ones where you have to interact with hero NPCs and you wouldn't want other players coming along and, I don't know, killing them before you can finish the mission. Now, I hope all of this information is true. I've said in the past that I think Star Citizen needs to integrate more instancing systems. I like that LevelCap is putting himself in the camp where he's like very pro Star Citizen and a fan to make people aware of and clear that he, you know, like, I just want people to know. You know, I'm not putting this out there as clickbait at all. I really am a fan, and I'm not doing this to make any money whatsoever. You know, like I like that he's throwing that in there. Not saying that LevelCap's doing it for that. I've watched a lot of LevelCap content before, but you know, like how many subscribers is he at right now? You know, he is at 1.9 million, so he's very aware of the game. If you get what I'm saying, he's very aware of that game. As much as I love the giant sim experience, the majority of players will want and need some sort of shielding from the always-on game world. And instancing is a really useful tool for this. Raids are probably the best example. You want to get together with a group of friends and run some high-level missions. Well, you might run into some other players on your way to the mission, but once you land and get into an instance hangar bay, now you're separated separated from the rest of the bigger world, and you can focus on the mission at hand rather than having to worry about somebody blowing up your ship on the surface while you're in an underground facility. This would also give CIG a lot more freedom in crafting out detailed narrative missions, since narrative content in a massive multiplayer server is extremely challenging, as was already shown by Siege of Orison and some of the other big game events. Small-scale events can have fun things triggered at just the right moments to great effect. Now that's some pretty juicy leaks for this start of the year. Honestly, it seems kind of in line with what CIG used to show us in terms of their upcoming plans for the game to sort of build hype, but it just sort of backfired on them too much with missing those deadlines. So this sort of seems like the internal indicator of their roadmap just being leaked to the public. And frankly, the 3.23 patch will give us a good indicator of how accurate, or I should say reliable, this information is. Again, this report cited that, you know, these are internal goals, not like deadlines or anything like that, and that CIG, I would assume, is purposely not releasing this information officially because, I mean, it's a 2-year out deadline. They're notorious for missing deadlines. This is more of a internal development goal. And if anything, this leak makes for some fun reading and potential speculation. I will leave a link to the leak document down below if you guys want to read through it all for yourself. I think I covered all the major stuff here, though. If you enjoy—
Here's the thing, guys. This like really upsets me. It upsets me deep down because it's going to get done when it gets done. I can't say this enough. You know, like, it will get done when it gets done. It's like over and over. When I see events like this, you know, like, or I just think about this topic in general of when is it going to get done? I think about a little kid in the backseat of a car who's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And then it just seems as if that complete mindset transfers over into the Star Citizen content creator universe. What's up, Vincent? This is already there yet. We all want it. We want it right now. But we're here and we're going to deal with it, and it's going to be here when it gets here. Everybody just chill the F out. That's it. Level Cap, fine bit of reporting right there. You know, I'm not trying to offend Level Cap. He's just doing what he does. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen a video from Level Cap where I feel like, and you know, I haven't seen a lot of Level Cap videos. I think we've watched a handful of them here and there, but I haven't seen one where like I feel like the passion or the heart. Maybe he's made those. Watch the end, says Limitless.
Enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like, hit that subscribe button, ding the notification bell to beat the YouTube algorithm with me.
Okay. That's funny. Next, Pepe, next.